Mellow greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet, and today we are going to be talking about our old friend, Tucker Carlson. Now, ever since the January 6th insurrection, our old friend Tucker Carlson has been hard at work, opining possible theory after possible theory to explain the strange phenomenon of a bunch of well-behaved, well-intended, totally not domestic terroristy patriots doing some insurrection. He has come up with a lot of theories about this. First, it was the dreaded Antifers. Then it was Black Lives Matter. Then it was, it wasn't really an insurrection. People were just kind of hanging out. Then, of course, once Biden officially took control of the office, maybe it was the fault of the Capitol Police. Maybe it was the fault of the system itself. And yet, after all of that, Tucker Carlson has come back with his best opined theory yet. You want to know what Tucker's up to? You want to know? Okay, I'm going to show you. Here we go. We are going to kick things off by hearing from the man himself, opining his latest blockbuster theory, his new journalistic tour de force. Tucker Carlson asking the tough questions live Tuesday night in prime time to somewhere north of 3 million viewers. Hit me with them facts, Tucker.
And speaking of January 6th, why are there still so many things, basic factual matters, that we don't understand about that day? Why is the Biden administration preventing us from knowing? Why is the administration still hiding more than 10,000 hours of surveillance tape from the U.S. Capitol on January 6th? What could possibly be the reason for that? Even as they call for more openness, we need to get to the bottom of it.
Now, for those of you who aren't aware, who don't consume Tucker Carlson's content on the regular, this is his usual jam. He starts off asking a bunch of ridiculous, hyperbolic questions, and then provides his own answer for them. And because his question isn't based in reality, neither is his answer, but because he wrote both the question and the answer, by the time he's done with them, it makes sense to people who at least believe Tucker Carlson, which, by the way, we're gonna touch on Tucker Carlson's believability in just a little bit.
We ought to be asking those questions urgently, because as the Attorney General reminded us today, a lot depends on the answers. And at least one news organization is asking that, Revolver News. It's a news site. It's turned out to be one of the last honest outlets on the internet. A new piece on revolver.news suggests an answer to some of these questions. We know that the government is hiding the identity of many law enforcement officers who were present at the Capitol on January 6th, not just the one who killed Ashley Babbitt.
Now, a couple points here. Number one, Revolver News. I'm going to remind you who they are in a couple minutes. Suffice to say, not exactly top-tier journalism. As to point number two, Tucker's questioning, why aren't they releasing the names of the cops? Whoa, hold on. I'm sorry. Every single time there's a police shooting of an unarmed black person, and then eventually the police release the name of the shooter, cop, because they're about to be arraigned, then Tucker Carlson screams holy hell about doxing the police. How come the media releases the names of these police officers? They're going to get that cop's family killed. Oh, okay, but now because it's a cop who's accused of shooting somebody in a MAGA hat, now you want all their information. That's really good. Logical consistency, not one of Tucker's top traits.
According to the government's own court filings, those law enforcement officers participated in the riot, sometimes in violent ways. We know that because, without fail, the government has thrown the book at most people who are present in the Capitol on January 6th.
So you see how Tucker Carlson said there were definitely FBI agents working as part of the insurrection, because there were so many other people who were charged, but some people weren't. Therefore, they must be FBI agents. You see how Tucker extrapolated that, didn't show you any indictments or court documents, and said, but FBI, we know that the FBI was definitely involved in the insurrection, because look at all the people who have been charged, and yet some haven't been. And this is what Tucker Carlson is peddling as a fact, by merely answering his own ridiculous question. I just want y'all to understand how Tucker operates, because this is about to go from bad to worse very fucking quickly.
But strangely, some of the key people who participated on January 6th have not been charged. Look at the documents. The government calls those people unindicted co-conspirators. What does that mean? Well, it means that in potentially every single case, they were FBI operatives. Really? In the Capitol on January 6th. For example, one of those unindicted co-conspirators is someone government documents identify only as Person 2. According to those documents, Person 2 stayed in the same hotel room as a man called Thomas Caldwell, an insurrectionist, a man alleged to be a member of the group the Oath Keepers. Person 2 also, quote, stormed the barricades at the Capitol on January 6th alongside Thomas Caldwell. The government's indictments further indicate that Caldwell, who, by the way, is a 65-year-old man, this dangerous insurrectionist, was led to believe there would be a, quote, quick reaction force also participating on January 6th.
Please note, Tucker Carlson wants you to believe that a 65-year-old man couldn't possibly be an insurrectionist, but a 65-year-old man could totally be an FBI operative. Apparently, he's Schrodinger's protester. He's way too old and feeble to do insurrection, and yet he's still salty and experienced enough to be a key FBI field operative in a case to drum up charges against totally patriotic individuals who totally didn't bring guns and pipe bombs to Washington, D.C., and then do some insurrection, right? So this basically went on for a solid 2 segments last night. I'm going to spare you more of it, but I'm sure you can find the whole video. Now, let me get to some meat on the bone here. Firstly, as to the Tucker accusation that unindicted co-conspirators are being listed as so because they're just FBI operatives, well, little note for you here is that legal experts say that the government literally cannot name an undercover agent as an unindicted co-conspirator. Quote, there are many reasons why an indictment would reference unindicted co-conspirators, but their status as FBI agents is not one of them. Okay, so what other reasons are there that somebody could be listed as an unindicted co-conspirator? Number 1, the government doesn't know who they are. Number 2, the government doesn't want to charge somebody unless they know they have enough evidence to properly charge them and then convict them so that they don't ruin their reputation. And of course, reason number 3, and stop me if this one sounds really out there, okay? They have secured leniency from the government for cooperation with investigation into other people. In other words, people who flip and give testimony against their fellow rioters, yeah, they would be listed as unindicted co-conspirators. Cool. Now, as to Tucker's rambling theory as to who all these Person 1, Person 2, Person 3s are that aren't listed by name, but supposedly all knew each other and ergo they must be FBI agents, I'd like to point you to this very well-known, very public thing that happened a few months ago, which is that person number 1 is a person by the name of Stewart Rhodes. Do you know who Stewart Rhodes is? Oh, yeah. See, he's the leader of the Oath Keepers, which is the militia that is solely consistent of current and former military and FBI agents that is believed to have more than 60,000 members nationwide. In addition, Stewart Rhodes was very public. He gave multiple speeches at multiple rallies leading up to the insurrection, and then let everybody know that he was posting up just outside D.C. over the Virginia border with an armed phalanx of men, and that they were ready to descend onto Washington, D.C. to kill any of the Antifas who might show up and cause shenanigans. This is all a matter of public record because Stewart Rhodes gave a shit ton of interviews. Most people believe that person number 2 is John Ryan Schaefer, who is the old guy with the white beard who is beating people in all the pictures, who it turns out is a member of a popular heavy metal group called Iced Earth, so everybody knew who the fuck he was. Yeah, him and his wife, they were staying in the same hotel as Stewart Rhodes, and he posted pictures of himself and his wife on social media, literally saying, if this is insurrection, then I guess we must be insurrectionists. This is all literally a matter of public record. Yet Tucker Carlson wants to obfuscate this and let you believe that, hey, maybe these people are, members of the FBI, the deep state, the crooked government. Oh, that Joe Biden and his deep state, you knew it was going to come back, didn't you? Okay, now let's cover a couple more points. Revolver News, the people cited by Tucker Carlson as these journalistic geniuses. Yeah, that's a right-wing website endorsed by Trump that called for shooting protesters. Oh, also, the person who runs Revolver, he's a former Trump speechwriter who got fired in 2018. Sadly, Trump didn't want to let him go, but there were old pictures and videos released of him at white nationalist gatherings, and apparently that was a bad look for the totally not white nationalist, totally not racist Trump administration, so unfortunately they had to let him go. Yeah, he went out, started his own journalism place, and then started doing journalism. Now, apparently, this is a respected media outlet. Cool. So why is Tucker Carlson trying to bamboozle everybody with bullshit? Well, here's a possible reason I'm going to posit. I know, very Tucker Carlson-y of me. Tucker Carlson is flooding the zone with shit because he knows the January 6 investigations will severely compromise not only Trump, but many Republicans and conservatives. So get ahead of it and radicalize the base with conspiracy theories so they don't believe anything. And this falls very much in line with previous Tucker hypotheses that it was the Antifas, that it was Black Lives Matter, that it wasn't actually an insurrection, that the Capitol Police just let it happen, all sorts of theories. This is just the latest. And if you don't believe that previous blurb about how much Tucker Carlson is muddying the waters, well, after his segment last night, this opinion piece popped up on the Fox News website. Tucker Carlson, government agents may have helped organize the January 6th Capitol riot. Really? So surely this contains all the groundbreaking journalism that we didn't see in the earlier piece. The one that he did live on television while he was talking about all the possible flaws and how, well, maybe the insurrection was just the FBI. Surely this article/opinion piece is going to fill in those blanks for me, right? Well, no, actually, this article starts off with a story about a black man in Georgia who shot a white guy in the back of the head and that said he did it because he didn't like white people constantly suppressing him. Yes, this is the lead part of the Tucker Carlson article about the January 6th riots. Okay, so surely there's something about the riots in here later. Democratic Party, propaganda, Black Lives Matter, multiracial America, division, disconnecting from reality, Merrick Garland, the FBI, riot at the Capitol. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, no. He's just being angry at Merrick Garland for talking about the riot at the Capitol. Okay, surely there's something in here about it then. Let's see. Joe Biden's cabinet, law enforcement. Here are some quotes of an interview with Vladimir Putin, who's asking questions about what happened at the Capitol. I'm still waiting to see the part where Tucker Carlson says that the FBI, this is a whole lot of words. Oh, look, he finally got to it. Oh, yeah, this is the part from his show that he put underneath 17 other paragraphs about all the other bad things in America, including black people shooting white people. That's right, those were the 17 paragraphs in the article about the FBI being behind the insurrection. That's why he started writing about it in paragraph number 17. This is what we call bamboozling you with bullshit. And now, to close, just in case you still might think that Tucker Carlson is doing journalism and is being responsible, 2 quick reminders. Number 1, a year ago, Fox News and Tucker Carlson and their lawyers in open court stated that they do not have an obligation to investigate the truth of statements before making them, and that his audience doesn't expect him to report facts. And now your reminder that Tucker Carlson asking important questions and then positing horrible answers, Yeah, well, a few weeks ago, he told everybody that he should confront people about wearing masks in public. And then, oh yeah, a week later, somebody confronted somebody about wearing masks in public and promptly shot them in a store. But of course, Tucker Carlson bears no responsibility for any of this because his viewers have no reason to believe that he is telling the truth. Now, I think it's fair to assume that nobody who consumes my content on the regular would believe anything that Tucker Carlson has to say. I have covered many Tucker Carlson lines of bullshit and have done breakdowns like this before. So yeah, you and I know that Tucker Carlson is a complete fetid piece of lying crap whose sole reason for existence is to manipulate people by bamboozling them with bullshit and then getting paid well for it. You get that, I get that. But as I said in the beginning of the video, more than 3 million people were watching that live last night, and millions more are going to see the clips on Twitter and Breitbart and InfoWars and The Blaze and OAN. And the next thing you know, there are going to be tens of millions of people screaming that the FBI and the deep state were behind the insurrection. And yes, they are the same people who previously yelled that it was Black Lives Matter and that it was the Antifas. Normally, I would say, just let them go and walk gently into that good night. But the problem is, these people are not going to go away gently. There are midterms coming up. Trump knows it's almost time to start making money again by giving speeches. And all of these people who are sitting at home consuming this bullshit and believing it, they are going to be back out in public en masse any day now. So, if you're going to be out and about, people, make sure to keep your head on a swivel, because none of these people are very far away from you. Until next time, my name is James. I am from the internet, and I am out. Peace.